and welcome to the first episode of DuWo Talk, DMing with the DMs. I'm your host for tonight, Try. A very exciting first night here on the channel, folks. We are debuting our show by interviewing two, not one, but two of our best neighborhood DMs, our favorite Eldritch Feline Familiar, and Okami.
Hello, everyone.
I'm here. I just need a second to compose myself.
You've had hours.
You want me to start snorting in your ear?
Absolutely.
Fair enough.
Well, welcome to our show, you two. How's it going?
Oh, it's been a nice break.
It
Good holiday.
has. A lot of fun over the holidays. But it'll be nice to get back in the control seat.
Yes, it's been quiet on the Dungeons and Dragons front around the DuWo channel. Are we excited to jump back into our regularly scheduled programs?
Well, I would like to say that Okami over here calling it the control seat. Are we ever in control?
You know what? We can pretend once in a while.
But seriously, we had a bunch of people wanting to do some one-shots this year, but schedule conflicts and the holidays just kind of made it rough, so it will be nice to get back into the familiar worlds.
Speaking of familiars, your icon is looking rather dashing tonight.
Well, thank you. I swapped out the tie and kind of, little clean up on the eyes.
I can tell that our team behind the scenes really dusted your cheeks down with powder today.
Oh, we wouldn't be able to do much without them.
Wouldn't do anything without our team.
And Okami, your eyes are looking especially devious.
Oh, thank you. I did them myself.
Oh, welcome. Now, I have reached out, and your fans have sent in their burning questions, a very special cantrip of sorts, much like one of our favorite games that we play here on the DuWo channel. We will let fate decide the order of these questions. For our live audience, please respect our creators and leave the booze back at the tavern with the drunken bard. If you have a question, drop it in chat. Just note that we will not be answering any questions that ask the DMs to pick favorites or least favorites when it comes to players, nor will they be answering questions that tear each other down. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So let's get going. Now, before we jump into our very first question of the night that I know everyone is extremely excited for, do you have any announcements?
We'll be doing something that I've been working on with a couple other people. We're going to be doing a little kind of a recap of what happened last year. And we're going to be doing that by playing the world's favorite question and answer game, Jeopardy D&D.
Boy. I mean, Try has nothing to worry about.
No, Try's going to be fine.
Try's not involved. We don't, what show crossovers aren't for us.
Try is safely going to be back in their wonderful home studio, not having to think about this for a little while.
Nope, continuously munching nervously down on my houseplants.
Excellent.
All right. First roll of the night. What question are we going to kick it off with? That is a 17.
Ooh.
This question comes from a lovely friend of ours. That would be one Calico. And their question is for both of you. What is your favorite character you've played in someone else's campaign?
Okami, I'll let you take this one first.
Ooh. That's tough. I'm gonna have to go with my Dompier Assassin Rogue that I played a very long time ago, before I even knew Doomy existed. And she was just a very fun character to play. She couldn't go out in the daytime. So I was carried around in a box, very Demon Slayer style. And she didn't get along with all of the party. She only got along with 2 people in the party out of the 6 of us. But it was a lot of fun, and I wound up having to leave that campaign due to some conflicts with the players. And I talked to the DM, and we wound up killing her off. And I made the whole group sob when I left. They were demanding to know that it wasn't true. There's no way, absolutely not. And I made them sob. I actually still talk to 2 of the people in that game, and they still talk about Amaris's heroic sacrifice to stop the Demon King from going after her friends.
We love a martyr in this house.
Oh, I guess that comes to me. Honestly, my favorite character to have played in recent years is probably going to be Jazzy Torncoat, my Harengon swashbuckling pirate of a rogue that we played on a kind of a side quest with Okami. She was a lot of fun, a lot of quips, and honestly, one of the best examples of teamwork in a small group that I've had the pleasure to play in.
Now, I'm a little surprised that Scratch wasn't your answer.
Scratch is fun. Scratch is definitely enjoyable, but every once in a while playing against type is more exciting. Personally, I'm someone who is very comfortable in the position of taking charge and leading and all that, and it was kind of nice to play the slightly neurotic, whiny little pirate that has a temper on her. It's kind of different.
Don't mind me just quietly over here, just, oh my god. Just breaking my heart in the best ways because I'm so fucking happy.
That it was one of your players?
No, just that people enjoyed that campaign, that weird goofy romp that we did.
Hey, I wouldn't mind playing Jazzy some other time.
You know I love a convoluted chaos crew.
Nope, didn't know that about you, Try. Didn't know you were the chaos type. You seem rather level-headed.
Oh, certainly, that's me. Follow the rules. Level-headed. Don't touch anything.
I will put out there that there may or may not be another adventure brewing for our favorite pirate crew. I confirm nor deny nothing, but let's just say that there is the absolute possibility that things aren't as stable as they seem with the arcane imbalance.
Folks, you heard it here first. We cannot confirm nor deny that Akami is the best for dropping that little nugget of gold on you tonight. Okay. Swiftly forward. Our next question is also for the both of you. And we're going to pivot from player to DM. What is the most rewarding part about being a DM instead of a player?
Honestly, the most rewarding part for me, and I'm not every DM, but for me, it is when you can bring out genuine emotion in your players. Knowing that you've written a story or set up a encounter or NPC or anything that has actually brought out genuine emotion in your players, whether it be sadness or genuine excitement or suspense, all of that, just knowing that someone's that engaged with your story is very rewarding for me, because it's just one of those moments that everyone is sharing at the same time and feeling similar things. And honestly, that kind of thing with your friends can be kind of rare. And knowing that you're the person who kind of put all that together for everyone to experience is kind of one of the best feelings.
Someone cutting onions in here. My God.
Right?
The sincerity is dripping, and I do love it. Not to say that you have to top that or that is a hard act to follow, but
I mean, as long as we don't have to outright say it.
yeah,
but-
we'll just keep that between the two of us.
You mean the floorboards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a story guy. That's how it is.
Can't confirm.
I can think of a couple straight off the bat that really hit some people. Some suspenseful and like very touching character NPC deaths.
Or we could save that for a possible follow-up.
Very well.
Uh-oh. Possible follow-ups. You heard it here first. My most rewarding thing kind of plays in with Doomy's, but mine is more of a technical aspect. When you've built your world and you've put everything in it, and as a DM, you have to leave clues to what your game is, to what the plan is, to where everything is going. And sometimes these are hints that are years in the making. You know, games go for a long time. And when somebody finally puts those last pieces together and you get to watch as everything suddenly clicks, as suddenly there are lines, you've had your thumbtacks and red string, but suddenly there's a blue string, and you can see how it all goes together. And it's that moment. And getting to sit back and watch is just one of my favorites.
Ooh. That is an excellent point. And I will say probably maybe a hardship of playing online is that you don't actually get to experience that moment face to face, unfortunately.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
definitely something I miss.
Having the tactile sensation of clues too, being able to actually draw out the secret messages with your heat changing ink kind of stuff.
Oh, you would spoil us.
I would enthusiastically spoil you.
And being able to harvest the fresh tears from my drinking cup.
You and that damn cup.
You said you wanted one.
I do want one. I haven't changed my mind on that.
Yeah, I think every DM deserves that, even us tabletop only. The next question comes from a friend by the name of Mr. Sir Duck. For both of you, what kind of D&D class do you dislike DMing for? Since they could absolutely derail your campaign in a moment.
Your turn.
Yeah, I know. And now I've got to think about that.
We're coming in with the hard-hitting questions here. This is the news people care about. Don't cancel me for saying that.
I thought it was pictures of Spider-Man. I thought everybody wanted pictures of Spider-Man. Oh, wait. Wrong news. A least favorite class. This is going to kind of sound like a cop-out answer, but I don't think I have one.
Not one shady little gremlin in there.
Oh, there's plenty of, I've had players at my table that have made me despise certain classes, but I would never say that there's one that I actually don't like DMing for, because you've got your barbarians that can beat down anything with a health bar. You can throw a puzzle at them. You've got a wizard that has a whole bevy of spells, and you just throw him at you just throw him at something he can't magic his way out of.
No.
There's a definitive
bards.
Easy.
100% bards.
Look, okay. You're going to need to explain yourself, because I can tell the audience is not going to let this go over easily.
I can easily explain myself. First of all, bards are a great class. They're a fun class to play. But bards have so many utility spells. They can mess up any encounter, especially once they get slow and or silence. Their freaking charisma is through the roof. Plus, some of the subclasses have advantage on persuasion checks. So any role play scene that you have is really not going to go your way if you rely on the dice, because the bard's just going to woo anything that they can. And not that I am a firm believer in problem players, but now and then a problem player has ruined bard for me because they just exploit those very strong characteristics of the bard. And no matter what you do, there is always a few moments where the bard ends up having the main character syndrome, in my opinion.
I got a
Just
bad
saying
taste
that
in my
because
mouth
you
now.
know it's my favorite class.
No,
Or
I've felt this way for years, decades even.
Okami's having war flashbacks.
the tragedy.
Since 3.5.
Mm-mm-mm. The dice have spoken, and we are on a roll continuously for questions that you need to answer together. The next one being a bit more juicy than the last. PC romantic relationships. What is the best? What is the worst parts you have seen thus far?
Oh, it's my turn again.
You get to start this one.
Best and the worst.
Give us the dirty details.
Well, let's start with the bad first. The worst player character romance aspects, I would have to say, oh, we're going way back. Before I started with my duo crew, I had done some tabletop in my garage. And we had a couple people coming in. And we had our core group that was 2, and then we had a couple more come in, and one of the new ones wanted to start a relationship with one of the usual players. And it just the worst aspect for me is when it moves into real life, when people can't separate RP from real life, and it starts to make people uncomfortable in actuality. Such things like getting kind of jealous when one half of the couple can't attend a session, but the other one can. And so they quote unquote miss out on time together. Like, that's a little weird. But yeah, that would be the worst aspects of it for me, is when it bleeds out of RP and there's actual uncomfortableness and jealousy in there, which doesn't happen all the time. The best aspect I've seen is, honestly, when the relationship feels probable and real. A good kind of example of that is the relationship between Jason and Mia Lana in our Black Razor trilogy. Honestly, I mean, there's ups and downs, there's fights, there's times when they can't stand each other, and there's times that are very touching between the two. So it's got a very realistic flow to it. So those are my opinions on that.
I will concur that, not that you said this, but I'm reading between the lines that they are the cutest.
I would never give any superlative to any of my players in regards to my other players.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to. That's my opinion. I play no favorites, but that's what I heard, guys. Just kidding. But I think your opinion is extremely valid. It is difficult for some people to separate character from real life. And when you bring in a character's romantic feelings into someone who can't separate it, it gets very complicated and very awkward for everyone else in the group. Okami.
I will also agree that Jason and Mia are the OTP. I'm not the DM in that group. I'm one of the players. I can say it. They're fucking adorable.
Loopholes.
Exactly. Exploitable loopholes.
Now would be a great moment to plug our YouTube and TikTok, because if you want to hear moments from these wonderful couples that we are talking about, that's where you're going to find them.
Jason is our favorite timeshare.
Check us out on YouTube at DuWo Gaming and in TikTok as well under the same name. Subscribe, hit that bell icon, click those notifications, and join us here weekly.
Oh, and now no longer able to stall anymore.
Yes.
I think for me, the worst aspects of PC romance is similar to what Doomy said, when it bleeds out, but also when there is no discussion of boundaries. There's no talk. There's no, hey, player A, character B wants to have a romance with your character. Is this something you're comfortable with? You can always have the person that wants to initiate this, and then it gets handled very poorly, and it sours the experience for the rest of the group.
Consensual courting.
Consensual courting. Always consensual courting.
Absolutely love that. That is a brilliant call out. We have all seen the memes and the stories of people who are hounded in real life. The I don't have to be nice to you kind of talk that's been going around the internet. And consent is a big deal. It's always been a big deal. It is very important. So to have that side conversation with someone you believe that your character would be interested in, so you do not surprise them in a role-playing moment, I think is brilliant.
100% agree.
It's a very important thing, and I think I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a soapbox here for just a hot second, and then I'll talk about my favorite aspect of this, because I do have a favorite. It's important for all parties involved, not just the two people that are there, that are involved in the relationship. Everybody has to be involved. If character A and character B are having a relationship, that's awesome, that's wonderful. But if characters C and D aren't comfortable with this, that's not okay. Characters A and B can do that stuff privately with the DM, because if characters C and D aren't okay with this and aren't comfortable with this, it shouldn't be at the table. Everybody needs to feel like their wants, desires, needs, and boundaries are being heard and are being respected. I've had, unfortunately, more than one table where two people get into a romance, and all of a sudden, when we're in the middle of trying to stop the big bad, whatever it is, from taking over the world, they're fucking picking out curtains for the dining room. Not bad, but they're not playing the same game we are. And it can be very frustrating. Now, to tangent very nicely into my favorite part of a potential PC romance, when everybody's on board, it makes for some amazing character moments, like Doomy said, and like we've seen with some of our players. If you have everybody's on board, everybody's enjoying it, it can make for some of the most uplifting, heartwarming, just deeply passionate moments you can have, and it can also make for some of the most gut-wrenching, heart-stopping, stomach is falling out of your feet panic, because everybody's invested and they want to see what's going to happen. And it builds an amazing sense of connection, as long as everybody's all in agreement.
Yeah, that's great. I wish that we had been streaming at the time, because Doomer did make our whole party cry IRL over a NPC relationship.
Yeah, that was what I was kind of hinting to.
I know.
I set up sad music from an anime that's really sad, and there was like a little final words monologue.
Oh,
So just know, players, if you give a DM cannon fodder, you will have them blast it through your stomach.
And your heart.
Yeah. Which for some of us is in our stomach.
hey, everybody says the fastest way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but I prefer going through the rib cage.
Ugh, what a time.